It was a busy Saturday afternoon at the Oakwood Mall. Sarah was trying on dresses in the changing room of her favorite clothing store. As she slipped out of her top, she thought she saw a shadow move past the crack between the curtain and the wall out of the corner of her eye. She froze, feeling a chill run down her spine. "Is someone there?" she called out, her voice trembling slightly. There was no response. Sarah pulled the curtain open a crack and peered out, but the changing area appeared empty. She shrugged it off as her imagination and continued trying on clothes. A few minutes later, she heard a muffled thump outside her stall. Sarah stuck her head out again, and this time saw a man's foot disappearing around the corner. "Hey, you pervert!" she yelled. The foot scurried away, and she could hear the changing room door slamming shut. Sarah threw on her clothes, grabbed her belongings, and rushed out to the mall corridor to look for the peeping Tom. But he was gone. Shaken, Sarah went straight to mall security and reported the incident. She described the brief glimpses she got of the creep, heavy-set, wearing khaki shorts and a blue t-shirt. Security said they would review the camera footage and step up patrols in that area. A few days later, Sarah was shopping at the Oakwood Mall again, still a bit on edge from her previous experience. As she was walking past the massage studio, a man stepped out into the hallway in front of her. It was the same guy. Blue shirt, khaki shorts, pudgy frame. Sarah stopped dead in her tracks, clutching her bags tightly. "Hey there, welcome to Perfect Contours Massage," he said cheerfully, handing her a flyer. "My name's Kevin. I'm one of the masseurs here. We're running a special this week on deep tissue massage if you're interested in melting away some stress." Sarah stared at him incredulously. She couldn't believe the nerve of this man introducing himself like a perfect gentleman after what he had done. Unless he didn't actually realize she recognized him. Before Sarah could react, Kevin gave her a little wink. "Don't worry, sweetheart. I'd never hit on a pretty lady like you. My tastes run a little more towards the fellas, if you know what I mean." He gave an exaggerated shake of his limp wrist. So that was his game, pretending to be gay to throw her off. Sarah felt her face flush with anger and embarrassment at falling for his pathetic ruse. She spun on her heel and marched off without another word. A few months went by, and Sarah had managed to put the incident out of her mind for the most part. She was enjoying a romance with Mitchell, a handsome up-and-coming finance executive she had met through mutual friends. Things were going well, until one night when they got into a heated argument at Mitchell's apartment over his constant overtime at work. "I can't keep sitting around waiting for you to have time for me," Sarah shouted, tears of frustration stinging her eyes. Mitchell's face contorted in anger. "What, you think because you're some pretty little thing I should just drop everything whenever you snap your fingers?" He growled, taking a menacing step towards her. "You're the one who needs to learn not to question me." Sarah took a step back, suddenly afraid. Mitchell had never shown even a hint of this violent temper before. As he advanced on her, Sarah scrambled for her phone, pushing past him towards the door. "Don't you dare walk out on me," Mitchell roared, grabbing Sarah by the arm and wrenching her around. She cried out in pain and fear as he pulled her close, balling his other hand into a fist. At that moment, Sarah's phone started ringing. She didn't recognize the number but answered it with a trembling hand, pleading silently for a rescue from this nightmare. "Hello?" a warm voice answered. "This is Kevin from Perfect Contours Massage at the Oakwood Mall. I was wondering if you'd had a chance to think about that deep tissue massage I recommended. I'm available for a house call tonight if you're interested." Sarah was frozen for a second, unsure of what to do. Then it hit her. If this Kevin thought she believed he was gay, maybe he would come if she pretended to hire him for other services. Yes, of course, Sarah managed to sputter out. "I was, just thinking about that. Could you come over soon?" "Absolutely. Just give me your address," Kevin replied cheerily. Sarah rattled it off, glaring defiantly at Mitchell, who stood stunned by the bizarre conversation he was overhearing. Kevin was true to his word, arriving at Mitchell's apartment complex less than 20 minutes later. He knocked on the door, and Sarah threw it open, Mitchell right behind her, looking murderous. "There you are!" Sarah cried in mock relief, stepping aside to let Kevin enter. "I'm so glad you're here. My, roommate and I were just talking about those tissue services." Kevin's eyebrows shot up as he took in Sarah's disheveled appearance and the menacing hulk of Mitchell behind her. The truth quickly dawned on him. This was no request for massage services. "Well, hey there, folks," Kevin said slowly, raising his hands in a placating gesture. "Maybe I should just come back another time." "Oh no, you're not going anywhere, buddy," Mitchell growled, grabbing Kevin by the front of his shirt. Unless you want to explain to the cops what kind of services you're really offering. Sarah cried out for him to stop, but Mitchell shoved Kevin up against the wall, winding up for a punch, but Kevin was deceptively quick for his size. He twisted out of Mitchell's grasp and landed a sharp jab to his ribcage, doubling the bigger man over in agony. Mitchell stumbled back, wheezing, and Kevin quickly stepped between him and Sarah. "That's enough out of you, tough guy," he said calmly. How did you?" Sarah sputtered in disbelief. Kevin turned and gave her a wry smile. "You're not the only one who plays roles to fit the situation, sweetheart," he replied with a wink that was much more natural than his exaggerated, effeminate act. "Self-defense courses, boxing lessons, and you pick up a few tricks when you've spent as many years as I have trying to fly under the radar." Mitchell was recovering his breath, his face bearing rage. "I'm going to kill you," he wheezed while lurching towards Kevin. But the smaller man was ready, catching Mitchell's clumsy punch and using his own momentum to send him crashing to the floor. "Sarah, grab your things and let's get out of here," Kevin said calmly. Sarah nodded numbly, scooping up her purse and following the mysterious man who had once again come to her rescue. They made their way to Kevin's car in silence. As he opened the passenger door for her, Sarah turned to him, still in shock from the night's events. "Why did you do that?" she asked. "Why did you even come after what happened at the mall?" Kevin gave her a crooked smile. "I'm not really gay, Sarah. I just appreciate the beauty in all forms, if you know what I mean." He winked at her again, the meaning finally clicking into place for Sarah. She couldn't help but smile back, amazed at the boldness of this man who had indirectly but shamelessly admitted to being a peeping Tom and yet had also saved her life. "Well, Mr. Masseur/boxer, it seems I owe you more than I can repay," Sarah said. "Oh, I think we can work something out," Kevin replied with a roguish grin. He leaned in close, his lips brushing her ear as he whispered, "What do you say we get out of here and go someplace more private?" Sarah felt herself flush crimson at the spark of heat that shot through her body at the whispered invitation. She bit her lip and found herself nodding slowly in acceptance as a thrill of delicious anticipation washed over her. The two slid into Kevin's car, speeding off into the night, ready to begin exploring the next tantalizing chapter in their unorthodox love story.
Please subscribe to my channel Lessons of Life and press the bell notification icon.